All right, hello there everybody. So we are going to be doing another video today. So this is going to be, I guess if you watch them in order, if they hopefully they upload in the correct order. We did a video this morning about the care package that Diecast Clown sent to me. So that was some pretty cool stuff. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'll pop you out of the camera stand for a second here and show you the state that we are in as far as overflow. So I have all those cars. There's more on that shelf up there, but I don't want you to see them. So I've got all of that. That WB Mason box was pretty much full of cars the other day. So hold on one second. There we go. Just a little tricky to get this new phone into the camera stand here. But as you can see, guys, I am like super overstocked on, and that whole bottom shelf there is all Auto World, Johnny Lightning, all, you know, Playing Mantis and Round 2 stuff and whatnot. As well as I do have some Hot Wheels stuff on the top shelf, as well as some Greenlight stuff. But yeah, I've got close to, if I had to guesstimate it, I'd say probably about 80 plus cars. 80, 90 plus, maybe close to 100, just sitting here waiting to get opened up. So, you know, as I said, I took a little hiatus, about 3-week break from recording and opening stuff and making videos, just because I was having issues with my phone. I was, you know, down and out, down and sick and down under the weather. That's what I was trying to say. Ugh. But I didn't stop collecting stuff. So I've got so much stuff to get through, it's actually kind of overwhelming. So I'm just going to start picking stuff out. And we'll start opening stuff. First two I do want to get out of the way. Last time we saw stuff for this, we did kind of a special video for them. Not so much this time. But I do have two more of the World War II fighter aircraft from Johnny Lightning. These are pretty new releases. So this is 2022. There you go. Now you can see it. 2022 release number 2. These just came out, I believe, around, I want to say like early December is when they really hit the shelves. Well, not necessarily. I haven't seen these on shelves yet. I actually got these online. But they became available online very recently. So two more. It's not any kind of new aircraft. We have another P-47 and another P-40 here. But we do have some new fun facts about them, as well as some very cool new paint jobs. I really like this silver P-47, because if you remember, I only had 2 green P-47s, and then this P-40 here is looks like the Pearl Harbor, the fighter squadron that was stationed at Pearl Harbor, if you've ever seen the movie, or you know your history. But yeah, so we're gonna get into those in a moment, and then I'm gonna pick just some random stuff to open, I guess. So give me a few seconds here. All right, so I grabbed 3 more cars from, these are pretty recently acquired. I'll get into where and how I found these when I open them, but here is a 57 Chevy Bel Air, part of the Hot Rod Magazine series. Really cool looking car. I like the white white letter tires on there with the kind of Krager style wheels. Next up, this one is super cool. I'm excited about this one. So this is a 1999 Chevy Camaro Trans Am Racing Series car. Excuse me. As you can see, it's not actually really a Camaro. It's just a fiberglass body on a race car frame, but it is super cool looking. I absolutely love this thing. Another one just recently found. And then, so that'll make, 4, and then number 5 here. This is kind of a weird one, but kind of cool as well. 2002 Chevy Monte Carlo. Yeah, Johnny Lightning made one of these. Yeah, it's not even the Super Sport, I don't think. So this is probably just like the V6, 3.8 liter V6. Yeah, okay. But I thought it was kind of cool just because it's such a random car to make a replica of or make a casting of. So I just thought that was kind of neat. So we'll go ahead and crack that guy open as well. Let's get a little bit more organized here. We're going to start off with our World War II aircraft because honestly, they create a horrible glare when you put them in the background here. So I'm going to crack both of these open, the P-47 and the P-40 here, and we will go over our battle facts and take a closer look at each one. All right, guys, so here we go. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful, beautiful looking aircraft. We're going to start off with the P-47 here. First things first, ooh, that was close. First things first, we are going to point out, what did I want to point out about this plane? See, I got distracted. I'll remember later. Anyway, this one specifically, though, has a very nicely spinning propeller. I know that's something that I pointed out before, that not all of the aircraft from Johnny Lightning get the best spinning propellers, but this one's probably the best one I've gotten so far. I don't want to break it. But interestingly enough, now I remember what I wanted to point out. You can see, can you see? Oh, you can almost see. Behind the propeller there, it's the detail has gone as far as you can just about make out the cylinder heads of that radial engine in there. That is the R2800 double wasp. It's the double wasp, I think. It's some kind of wasp. I know it's called the R2800, but 2,000 to 2,600, I believe, horsepower. 18-cylinder radial engine. I know we talked a little bit about that last time we had a P-47 on the channel. But a little bit of a different paint job on this guy. I absolutely love the silver on this aircraft. This, like the nose art named Bonnie. As you can see, lots and lots of kills. Looks like what, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. 15, I believe the Japanese flags are air-to-air kills, and then the bombs next to it are obviously bombing runs, and then that's 2 ships sunk. So quite the ace pilot here. It was a 15 air-to-air kills, so he's a triple ace pilot. And then just above that, you can just about make out, it says William Bill Dunham. Or I believe that's what it says, because that's his name down there on the stand, Major William Dunham, or Dunham, of the 460th Fighter Squadron in Leyte, Philippines, 1944. Very, very beautiful looking aircraft. I absolutely love the way this thing looks. I really, really like that it's the P-47, but they've gone with a new paint job this year, or with this. Did they release a P-47 this year? I'm not sure. I think they did, but I know that the silver one we have not seen yet, with the again, the Allied stripes on the wings. Take a quick peek underneath. You can see the stripes wrap around the bottom of the wing, and it is very detailed underneath, down to the shell ejection ports. If you can excuse my dirty nail there, you can make out the shell ejection ports behind the guns there. That's pretty cool. Not a detail you'd expect to find on a model aircraft this small, but very, very impressive. Very, very cool looking. So let's check out our card here. We've got some battle facts. If we can focus on them, there we go. It says November 1944, 20 days after MacArthur waded ashore at Red Beach in the Philippines, the 460th Squadron commanded by Major Dunham were top cover for B-25 strikes defending the Leyte Gulf. The pilots of the 460th in their P-47 Thunderbolts, there we go, fought fierce air-to-air combat and shot down 54 aircraft, most of those destroyed in the month of December, when the enemy made an all-out effort to drive them from Leyte into the sea. So, yeah, 54 aircraft. That's not bad for, I'm not sure how many was it the 460th, and that's a fighter squadron. So how many planes are in a fighter squadron? I'd have to look that up. But hey, you know, decent numbers. Good job, guys. But again, yes, very, very nice aircraft. Very excited to add this one to my little aircraft shelf. So that is Major William Dunham. I don't know why I can't say that. William Dunham and his P-47 named Bonnie. So we'll go ahead and scoop Bonnie over there. And we will bring over our P-40. Now, as I was taking this thing out of the, or when I was looking at it at first, I was like, oh, this looks like the plane from Pearl Harbor. Well, gee, yeah, no kidding. Pearl Harbor attack. It literally says it right there on the box. So we will go over our facts for this guy as well, and then we'll take a bit of a closer look at some of the details on this plane. But it says here, the P-40 Warhawk was a deadly fighting machine in trained hands. She fielded a formidable armament of 450 caliber Browning M2 heavy machine guns in her nose and wings. Double check that. I don't think they all had 50 cals. A pair of P-40s piloted by American airmen George Welsh and Ken Taylor were able to get airborne during the December 7, 1941 attack on Pearl Harbor, and both pilots were awarded the Distinguished Service Cross for their bravery that day. That is a completely true story. I believe they shot down 7 aircraft. You can either look up the true story, or you can just go watch Pearl Harbor, because that happens in Pearl Harbor, the movie with Ben Affleck. But anywho, here is our P-40. If I can focus on it, there we go. All dressed up in a beautiful olive drab green, although I'm not crazy about the weathering they do on these. The exhaust ports look like somebody spray painted them black instead of like the plane's been running. The weathering on the wings from the machine guns firing, it looks cartoonish at best. Not super crazy about that, but I do love the rest of the airplane. This is an absolutely gorgeous airplane, the P-40. As we've talked about before, this had an Allison engine in it. I forget the exact coding of the engine, but it was an Allison, I believe, either 12 or 16 cylinder. But so in reference to what I was talking about before with the P-47, the propeller on the P-47 spins very nicely, whereas this guy does not seem to have much free spinning ability. It does turn and it does rotate, you know, freely, but it's not, you can't give it one of those, you know. But anywho, so this is Second Lieutenant George Welch. I'm struggling with the last names today. But 47th Fighter Squadron, Oahu, Hawaii, 1941. So this is his aircraft, or a replica of his aircraft. And very nice looking aircraft it is indeed. And then, like it said on the card here, 450 caliber Browning machine guns. I'm not so sure about that. I know there were guns in the wings. There was a gun mounted in the nose. These were heavily armed aircraft, but I want to say they may have been 30 caliber machine guns. I don't think this thing had 450 calibers because, well, not for nothing, but there's 3, and 2, so that makes 8. So that's, I'd have to do a lot of research. Get into because I know they were fitted with different weapons at different times throughout the war. If you take, for example, the P-51, the early P-51s, I believe, had 20 millimeter cannons on them, whereas, you know, later models did have 650 caliber machine guns mounted on them. So some interesting stuff worth looking into. But that is our Curtiss P-40 and Republic P-47. We'll bring the P-47 back over there. So that will be probably the first half of this video to these two aircraft here. So I'll go ahead and get these up on my aircraft shelf, and we will continue on with our video in just a minute here. All right, so we are going to get into our, let's zoom out a little bit here. Our 1957 Chevy Bel Air. We'll crack this guy open. We got a nice little Hot Rod magazine cover there to go up on the wall, as well as another Hot Rod magazine. I have that in my parking garage, which I did sort the parking garage out. If you watched my the last video from today, I did mention that the parking garage wasn't working quite right. I later found out with electronics and LEDs and stuff like that, they tend to work a lot better if you plug them all the way in. So, yeah, every day is a learning experience. But anywho, I'm opening this on camera, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the video. So I know I don't usually open my cars on camera, but I guess I haven't shown this in a while. But this is how I open literally everything. I cut the plastic piece off, toss the plastic, get the car out, and then anything that ever comes with the card usually goes, obviously, up on the wall there, as you can see. And then my card, usually I have a box over here just out of camera, or just out of view of the camera, that I put all my cards in. So I keep and save as much of the cardboard and paperwork for each car as I can. So for those of you who have not been watching since the beginning, that is what I do with all my cards. Oh, that's interesting. Is that a plastic? No, that's metal. Okay. I thought it had a plastic base for a second. So here is our 57 Chevy. We'll go ahead and zoom in here a little bit so we can get a better view. There we go. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic looking. There's a cat hair on it. Anywho, really, really sweet looking car. So I just picked this up. Wow, that looks great. The amount of detail on the front of that car is absolutely fantastic. Look at that, down to the Chevy emblem there in the front. You can actually even make out the bow tie. Look at the quality of that focus on this camera is insane. Hold on, we'll go back a little bit. There we go. Yeah, you can literally make out the bow tie in the Chevrolet emblem on the grille there. And then, of course, the Chevrolet lettering across the hood. But wow, I really like this new camera. That's awesome. Nice red interior in there. That looks really cool. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with our side window there. It looks like it got painted silver. I guess they couldn't get a small enough piece of plastic, so they were like, here, deal with it. Anywho, no license plate on this guy, and there weren't any license plates on the airplanes, I don't think, either. So don't need to double check them. Very, very cool looking car. So as always with these, the Hot Rod magazine series from Johnny Lightning, these are replicas of real cars. So here is our magazine cover with the actual car on it, the Hot Bodies of Summer. Yes, indeed. Very cool. There it is, getting a car wash. That is, when is this? It doesn't really have a date on it or anything, but 50 gadgets for under $25. Ford vs. Chevy shootout. Very cool stuff. So we do have a magazine cover replica car here. And as it says on the box, yeah, classic cover cars from your favorite magazine. Doesn't really have any facts or anything. I know we've read through this a little bit before, but if you want to go ahead and pause the video, I don't feel like reading through all that. But you can go ahead and pause the video and read all that paragraph there. And then here are the rest of the cars in this release. We got a 29 Ford pickup, the 58 Impala, 68 Corvette convertible, a Shelby Cobra, 71 El Camino, and a 57 Chevy Bel Air. That 71 El Camino, we'll keep an eye out for that one, because I may or may not have grabbed that too. I know I grabbed an El Camino the other day, but I'm not sure if it's actually that one. But very cool stuff. I don't think we have an opening hood or anything. So, unfortunate, but oh well. Very, very cool. So I was on Facebook Marketplace, and something possessed me to type in Johnny Lightning in Facebook Marketplace, and I found an ad for, it basically looked like, you know, somebody's private collection, just pictures of somebody's private collection in their basement, just walls full of Johnny Lightning, Hot Wheels, Matchbox, all kinds of good stuff. And it said cars $1 to $5, and I was like, well, hold on a minute. So fortunately, it was not too far away, about a 40-minute drive. I headed up there early in the day. Ended up spending about 2.5 hours in this guy's basement. Older fellow, and just chatting with him about hot rods and cars. He has a 57 Chevy Bel Air, very similar to this one. He made a comment when I walked up to this one, or with this one in my hand. Oh yeah, you got good taste, man. But you know, I was telling him about my Camaro and whatnot. Very nice guy, and just has, you know, what looks to be an unlimited supply of Johnny Lightning stuff from about 1994, when Playing Mantis brought them back, to probably early 2010s, maybe 2011, 2012. So really just like the golden years of Johnny Lightning prior to them being purchased by Round 2. They've kind of made a comeback now that they're owned by Round 2 in recent years. But some very, very cool stuff. So that guy is probably going to be my new connection for classic Johnny Lightning stuff. Also has a lot of really cool Hot Wheels as well. I know I mentioned in the last video I uploaded, I grabbed this guy from him as well. This is a 2007 new models. So in 2007, Chevrolet was still teasing the new Camaro concept. So we hadn't actually seen the 5th generation Camaro yet. This was still a concept car in 2007, but it looks an awful lot like what's sitting in my driveway right now. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool, even though it is a mainline Hot Wheels. But back to our 57 here. Yeah, absolutely love this thing a lot. Very, very cool. So we'll go ahead and tape all this cool stuff up to the wall here, and park this guy up and get into our next car, the Glacier Tech Inc. Camaro, part of the BF Goodrich Trans Am Racing Series. So as I said, this is pretty much just a race car made to look like a Camaro, but man, does it look great. So I'm going to go ahead and get this guy unboxed. All right, guys. Wow. Look at this car. This has got to be one of my favorite Camaros in my collection of Camaros. So this is a 4th generation Camaro, I should say. You do have your catfish headlights there. So this is a late model based off the LS1 body style Camaro. Obviously not an LS1 under where the hood would be on this car. Like I said, very similar to a NASCAR. It's pretty much a fiberglass body over a roll cage. So this is part of the Trans Am Racing Series. I remember, I never really watched the Trans Am Racing Series growing up, but I did watch NASCAR and, of course, the ARCA. I believe it was the ARCA series. So these are a bit more similar to the ARCA cars, but very, very cool looking. Come around to the back here. We have our Camaro, TWC Motorsports. A little bit of overspray with that stripe there. But that's interesting, though. It kind of shows you that that stripe is painted on. That's not a decal. So that's kind of cool. You know, within the last 20 years, with computers advancing the way they have, the ability to print very, very detailed decals has come a long way. So with older stuff, you will see sometimes details are painted onto the car as opposed to being decals or tampos or what have you. Which, you know, the more detailed decals, or very detailed decals, that's a fun one. They do look better, and they are nicer to see, but the painted on stuff just kind of is a bit nostalgic and reminds me of the cars from my childhood. Especially this. Like, this is just very, very late 90s-esque race car. It looks like something that just came flying out of the late 90s. Of course, we do have a picture of it here. This is from the 1999 Trans Am series. So this is Tom Coleman, number 8. Good number. Wow, what a cool looking car. What an absolutely awesome looking car. So I will go ahead and show you now. I'm going to actually zoom out a little bit for this. The card for this guy. This is part of the Racing Machine series from Johnny Lightning. Similar to the Top Fuel Legends, the card is enormous. But a very cool card nonetheless. You get the racetrack in the background. Yeah, Johnny Lightning Racing Machine series. So on the back here, we have a list of all the other cars that were in this series. So we have a Team Orica, not to be confused with ARCA. That is Team Orica Viper GTS, part of the GT2 series. I would kill to get my hands on that. That is such a cool car. Got another Trans Am series, a Mustang, an Indy car, Indy Racer. Doesn't say the series, but I imagine it's an Indy series. An NHRA Dodge Avenger. That's probably pretty interesting. Another Dodge Daytona, NHRA Daytona, and then, of course, our Glacier Tech Trans Am Series Camaro that we have right here. So, crap, another massive card. we're going to stick that somewhere for now. But one more quick look at this guy, and we'll zoom in so we can get a really good look at it. Very, very, very cool car. I love the window net on there. I used to collect NASCARs when I was a very, very little kid. I was super obsessed with collecting NASCARs, and I always remember, loving that they had that window net detail on them. I always thought that was very, very cool. Very nice looking car. So we'll go ahead and park that up with our other red Chevy. A lot of Chevys today. We got 3 of them. And we'll go ahead and zoom back out and check out our 2002 Chevy Monte Carlo. So this is part of the earlier Classic Gold collection. Classic Golds are always the best. They always have the best detail about them. So that's interesting. When I'm zoomed out, it won't focus on stuff that's super close. So I have to keep it back here to keep it focused. Still learning the ins and outs of this new camera, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of the video quality. I personally think it looks a lot better. I think the smaller text and stuff. It might just be because I'm wearing my glasses now, or because I'm not looking at it through a shattered screen. But I think the quality of the camera is a lot better. Like, even look at those cars back there. Those look awesome. And then we can zoom in. This thing has like crazy zoom capabilities. Look at that. Oh, keep going even closer. Look at that. That's insane. And then we can zoom all the way back out. Sorry, I'm goofing off here. Let me get this this silly little Monte Carlo opened up, and we'll check this guy out, all right? All right, well, here it is. The 02 Monte Carlo. No, it's a pretty cool car, honestly. They're a little awkward shaped, but I think if you stare at them long enough, you do start to kind of see the attractiveness of one of these cars. We do have the hood opened up there to check out our Series 3 3.8 liter GM V6. I popped this little hood open, and I had like PTSD flashbacks of working on these things. I can hear the intake gasket leaks just Vacuum leaks, intake manifold gasket leaks, the valve covers always leak on these things. I've never seen one of these where the bottom of the engine bay was like dry. It wasn't leaking anything. I've worked on a lot of these 3.8, 3.1s, 3.4s. Just this general GM platform. A lot of Buicks are built off the same platform. Early 2000s Buicks, the Pontiac Grand Prix and Grand Ams and Grandmas and Grand this, Grand that. All of those with the that little some schmutz on the side there. There we go. That's better. All those guys with that 3.8 liter and 3.1 liter series V6. Ooh, it lifts, moving around a little bit. They were okay cars. I had a buddy in high school who had one of these, and this is a pretty funny car. Weird looking rear end. This isn't like dented or bent. That's actually what those things looked like in the back. It's kind of weird. They were nice inside, though. I specifically remember riding in that thing, like riding to tech school and stuff with him. And just thinking about like, wow, man, this thing has like a lot of features for an early 2000s just V6, I guess this is a coupe because it's a two-door. But they were really like loaded up on the interior. One thing I will point out, this casting has mirrors. They are detailed. I love it. Absolutely love that. No license plate on the back there, interestingly enough. But we do have the Monte Carlo logo or lettering. Come on, there it is. Move my hands. There we go. Trying to focus on my hands. I know they made an SS version of these Monte Carlos, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I know the Pontiacs got them, the later model Pontiacs, but I believe these also got the 5.3 liter aluminum block V8. And if you've ever heard the word torque steer, that it does not do justice to what when these cars had the V8s in them. If you get on it, you let the hammer down on one of these things, it will literally just pull you into the other lane because they're front wheel drive. They were front wheel drive setup, 300 horsepower V8 and a lot of torque and a lot of torque steer. That wheel would damn near break your thumbs if you weren't holding it right and you got down on the gas in one of these things. They also had a supercharged 3.8 liter V6 variation, which I have a soft spot in my heart for. I think supercharged cars are super cool. They sound awesome. You swap the pulley out and it goes faster. But this guy just seems to be like a higher trim level, but not any kind of sport trim level. So there's a picture of a real one, I guess at a early 2000s auto show. In the background, there's a black one. Oh, that's the Dale edition in the black one in the background. They had a Dale Earnhardt edition of these. It was black with silver and red around the bottom, like the Dale Earnhardt number 3 car. And if we look even further in the back, I see a big ugly catfish face. That's a 4th generation catfish Camaro in the background there. Some other stuff off to the side there. But yeah, that's pretty nostalgic. Seeing one of these in like factory new condition. Most of these, when you see them roll into the shop, they are not in factory new condition. They are, fuel pressure regulators always go on these things, so they'll fire up and shut off, and then they'll have to start it back up again, and then it'll run fine. Or you'll start it, and it won't start, and then what it'll do? You'll crank and crank and crank and crank, and they'll sit there and crank forever. And then you stop, and then you try again, and it'll fire right up because they don't. The fuel pressure regulator doesn't pressurize the fuel rail when you turn the key on. Sometimes, or I'm sorry, the fuel pump doesn't turn on sometimes when you turn the key on with these things. They had their problems, but still a cool car nonetheless. So I'll go ahead and show you guys the card here. There it is. No, I'm kidding. It's early Johnny Light. I never closed the hood. There we go. That's what it looks like. Oh, our hood's a little crooked there. Go ahead and get that line back up. Yikes. But that's what it looks like with the hood closed. It's not the worst looking thing in the world. It's just very very early 2000s-esque styling with that thing. But yeah, our card doesn't give us any fun facts about the car, but I think I gave you enough fun facts about these. So there is our whole story about the Classic Gold series. Hold on, we'll do that. There you go. Now you can focus on it. So you go ahead and pause the video and give that a quick read. And then the rest of our stuff from this Classic Gold series. We got a 32 Ford Roadster, 73 Firebird, 82 Mustang, 02 Monte Carlo, 02 PT Cruiser. Ew, whose idea was that? I gotta find that so we can make fun of it together. And then 2002 Hummer H1 10th anniversary. That'd be kind of cool. An H1. I know the H2 is a little but the H1's kind of neat. I'd like to grab an H1. So that is our card for that guy. I'll go ahead and tuck that away here. That is our Monte Carlo. And I just realized I haven't been showing you guys any of the bases. I showed you underneath the planes, but bases of the cars here. So we've got 2002 Monte Carlo, also 2000 Monte Carlo. So I guess this is this base has been used on 2 different model year Monte Carlos or releases or what have you. Bit more of a close up there. Yeah, like I said, not a terrible looking car, but not a particularly arousing looking car either. It's just kind of is a car. Anyway, this Camaro has a really interesting base. Completely flat. No year, make, or model or anything. Just 1999 playing Mantis. I guess like a real race car. Completely flat base. I don't know. I've never seen the underside of a Trans Am series car. And then here is our 57 Chevy. Primedia Inc. 2004. 57 Chevy Bel Air used under license. There you go. So that is our 57. So let's go ahead, and I don't usually put my planes in the parking garage, but we'll go ahead and get these 3 new Chevrolets lined up in the parking garage. All right, guys, so here, let's scoot this over a little bit. Get kind of a portrait view there, or a portrait focus. Hold on the 57. There we go. So here we have our 57 Chevy Bel Air from the Hot Rod Magazine release from Johnny Lightning. As you can see right there in the corner, this is not our first Hot Rod Magazine Johnny Lightning. I have a little card from the last one. Next up, our Trans Am Racing Series 1999 Chevy Camaro. I absolutely love that thing. And what's his name? Right, Tom Coleman. Tom Coleman is our driver's name for that car. Next up, the 2002 Chevy Monte Carlo. I love the color. I think that's really what made me grab that thing, is that bright banana yellow. I really like that color a lot. Yeah, like I said, I guess it's I got this car. I think I grabbed that because deep down I really do love that 3.8 liter V6 and those things. They're just such workhorses. You know, junk motor, but I've fixed them so many times that I can kind of tear through them and get them to run pretty good. I don't know. I like it though. And then down here on the end, I got a little bonus here. Is a, I wanted to talk about this a little bit more, actually, this car. So I showed it in the last video, but what this is a Hot Wheels mainline that was released, I believe, last year, 2 years ago, 2021, 2022 maybe. And it's just a regular mainline Hot Wheels, but I absolutely love the casting. I think it's absolutely sick looking. It's a 1970 Pontiac Firebird with the hood is removed, and it's, you know, obviously some kind of crazy motor swap in there. Excuse me. And it's got a wide body kit. So oh gosh, I got the hiccups. Excuse me. It's got these super wide fender flares that kind of come down into that front valance there, and it just looks absolutely stunning. and it had the like super duper basic, well, you know what they look like, the super duper basic Hot Wheels, just regular mainline plastic wheels on it, and I thought they looked horrible, and completely like just all this car needed was a set of Real Riders rubber wheels and tires, and I'm just super pleased with how the thing came out, so I just wanted to throw that one in there too. Like I said, I've been looking for this casting for quite a while now. I saw it in stores one time and didn't grab it, wished I had, and have been hunting for it ever since. So my friend that I made on Facebook Marketplace just so happened to have one of these. I asked him, I was like, hey, this is kind of a weird, one-off request. I'm not really, if you don't have it, it's perfectly fine. But do you have a Hot Wheels Firebird? It's a red Firebird with no hood. And he looked at me and was like, I think I just might. And he goes digging off. He was digging for this thing for like 10 minutes. And I felt kind of bad. I was like, oh man, I just made this guy tear through all his shit. And he doesn't have the thing. And it's like, oh, well, whatever he pulls out, I'll buy. And he turns around and goes, is this the one? I was like, holy crap, dude. No way. Like, that is the exact car I was looking for. So I came home and immediately put some rubber wheels and tires under it, and I think it looked absolutely fantastic. So, I don't know, let me know what you guys think of that one. Let me know what you think, how it came out. The rear axle's a little wide for it, so it kind of does some weird stuff sometimes, but, it is what it is. Anywho, I'm just rambling on about my little custom there. But we'll go ahead and zoom back out. Let's see if we can we get all four? There we go. There's all four of today's cars on screen, out of focus. There we go, that's a little better. Or all three of today's cars and a little something from yesterday. But I did buy all of these from the same guy, so. Anyway, that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you for sitting here and listening to me ramble. I know we only opened a couple cars and 2 planes, so I guess we got through 5. But we've got a lot more stuff to get through, guys, so make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you know when the new videos are coming out. I know a lot of you guys, I think it's like 90% of you aren't subscribed. I can see that. I have the statistic. But yeah, like 90% of my audience isn't even subscribed. So, I mean, it doesn't cost you guys anything. Just go ahead and hit the subscribe button for me. But anyway, yeah, I'm feeling very chatty today. So leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know which car was your favorite. Let me know what you think of my little wheel swap here. And if you like the new camera as well, I think it looks a lot better. And I will see you guys in the next video.